you're God's chosen people, and that anyone that's angry basically at Israel is just angry at God. You're fucking mental, mate. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of WTAF. My name's Gareth, and his name is
Richard. All the joys of spring.
All the joys of spring. Yeah, I'm looking a bit kind of seedy nightclub, aren't I, today?
You are, yeah. Just on the way into the toilets, that bit.
Yes. Dad's been filming part of his Legacy series, so I've literally run in at past when we were meant to start and sort of just bundled everything together. So I've not even got the proper light. I've basically got what looks like a Fisher-Price light on me, but that's fine. I'm not bothered.
I do.
Got a pair of pink scissors if it goes really badly.
Oh, well, there you go. That's all you need. Sam ordered some new tools for the house. They came in a box and they're all pink. So like, come on. I was going to put up a shelf. Now I just feel like I want to stroke it, cuddle it.
Yeah, got to embrace it, man. I used to wear a lot of pink when I was younger. I basically used to do things, some will say I'm a contrarian. I used to do things that would annoy people and make them annoyed at me, which actually probably isn't a great sort of business model in terms of being popular. But I would often do things that would annoy people.
I know exactly what you think. I did the same about if the Archons are real and we've been sent here, trapped here, I'm coming here anyway, just to annoy you.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. Yeah. If they said, you know, your soul has progressed to such a level that you can now go off into, I'm going, nah, I'm staying in. I'm going to Butlins, mate.
Right. Where can I get the CBD from?
They can head over to supremecbd.uk, use the code WTAF, get 40% off everything. Talking to 40% off, 40% off my beard.
It's good. I noticed that yesterday when I watched the show. I like it. I like you shaving like that, but you know, you don't.
I hate it, mate. I do it and I regret it the second I've done it. I go, oh, that's the last bit. Looks shit. Every time. And then just start growing it back. And I'll do it again in about 3 months.
Yeah, I know. Circle of life. If you like what we do and you appreciate what we do, head over to iconic.com. Get some help. Head over to iconic.com. You've got 6 years worth of content there, from documentaries, series on the esoteric to conspiracies to alternative news and all sorts, even comedy there. 6 years worth of stuff for just $1.99 for your first month. So head over there and support the work what we're doing. And thank you for welcoming us back onto YouTube. We appreciate that until we get kicked off again. Yeah. Let's dive into the stuff we're going to get kicked off for.
For now, right, I've got a few stories actually. Which is good. You've got an hour to fill. I saw this one today. So Trump, Blair, and Kushner, Tony Blair, he is like a bad smell, have got together at the White House to discuss the future of the Palestinians. You think the Palestinians would have a say, but no.
So should we invite any Palestinians? No, just
good luck finding any that aren't already dead.
Yeah, 19,000 children.
I was reading, actually, was it yesterday, that if you had a funeral a day for a Palestinian child and you decided you would attend that funeral each day, you'd be going to a funeral every single day for 52 years. It's not genocide, though. So Donald Trump, obviously, he's funded by Israel. I would suggest he's compromised by Israel as well. I'd more than suggest that, actually, which is probably why he's not releasing Epstein files, because... Do you know what I mean? You want to incriminate yourself. He has openly said that he's the most pro-Israel president in history. Imagine the competition. Then you've got Tony Blair, who's an ardent Zionist, who's basically destroyed the Middle East on behalf of Israel, because everyone talks about the weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, who started that? Netanyahu. Yeah, okay. And then you've got Kushner, who's obviously a rabid Zionist, who considers Benjamin Netanyahu a father figure, because his real dad's a crook that was pardoned by Donald Trump rather than Assange. And Netanyahu used to sleep in Kushner's room when he was staying in America. I assume Kushner wasn't in there, but you don't know.
I reckon he was in there.
Lunatics. So they're the three. Oh, yeah, and Kushner also said, didn't he, about the prime real estate potential of Gaza as a waterfront like resort. They're the three that are discussing the future of the Palestinians. It's almost like it's a stitch-up job.
I'm going to say a word here, and what do you think it's going to be?
You can't say the C word because people will complain. But that's what I'm thinking when I think of those three.
Can I say the other word? The other C word? Chabad.
Oh, Chabad.
Chabad, spelled with a C. Chabad.
How
Uh,
bad does it have to get?
well, exactly. Kushner's a Habadi baddie. Trump's a Habadi baddie. Obviously, Netanyahu is a Habadi baddie,
He's a
and
chief buddy.
he's a chief Habadi baddie. They're all Habadi baddies. Malaya Habadi baddie. RFK Jr. Habadi baddie. All messianic prats. And then, as you say, Tony Blair was the one who pulled the trigger, as your dad would say, after 9/11 to bring on the Project for the New American Century, which really is, as we know, a rebrand of the Greater Israel Project, which really is the messianic agenda for Olam Haba. We know
Yeah.
this. We figured all this out. Like, not just me and you, obviously, because we've got other things to do. I've got a wonky eye, and you need. What do you need? Something else.
A beard back.
A beard back. A beard back. Bad beard back. Beard back riding. I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah,
What makes me laugh though is Trump is meeting up with Blair like best chums to talk about the Middle East, right? Okay, Blair destroyed the Middle East, was part of it with George W. Bush and all that stuff. But at the same time, Trump is bad mouthing Starmer, and obviously I fucking hate Starmer as well. But he's bad mouthing Starmer. He's talking about this mass immigration into Britain, how it's being destroyed. Fucking Blair started it.
of course he did. Yeah.
Why is he not saying anything to him then? Oh, you know that shit I'm slagging off loads about England? You started that, didn't you, son?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
didn't hear him say that. Weird.
well, they are, but they're just not putting it in that context. They're going, do you know that shit that I'm slagging off Starmer about that he is having to take the flat for? You started that.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
I know. I just chucked a grenade in and then I just walked off.
Yeah, just fucked off. And then look
wish
at
he
him.
would
Look. I mean, he's nowhere near up our level, is he? He hasn't wanked in a coffin.
I don't know what Starmer's done, but there's 4 Ukrainian skeletons in that closet that I can think of off the top of my head.
4 Ukrainian, was it models? Rent boys.
Male escorts, weren't they?
Oh, that's it.
It is funny though, isn't it? Like the fact that as a I know we spoke about it before, but as a prime minister, you can get a shitload of your stuff torched, and it's private stuff as well. Like they didn't throw a firebomb at Downing Street or at his official motorcade. It was like a car he used to own, a house he used to rent out. Like no one asked the question, how the fuck do you know what Starmer's stuff is? Because none of us do.
It's a great point, because that's I know you on a personal level. We're coming for you on a personal level. I mean, that's probably a warning, but that is, we are not. This is nothing to do with Downing Street and all of this. Not this theatre. We're coming for you at home when you've stopped, pretending to play Prime Minister Starmer. And I think that's a really good point.
I think that the intelligence agencies know exactly what it's all about. Of course they do. And I imagine the media at the high enough level would probably know exactly what it is as well. I think it's on the back burner. I think we'll find out in a couple of years. They'll go like, whenever they're done with Starmer, because they want to reform government, whenever they're done with Starmer and they go, or an advanced UK government, I'm undecided at the minute. But when they're done with him, it will go, oh, look at this revelation. You're like, it's not a revelation. You knew about it the whole time. You just kept it under wraps because you saw him as a useful idiot. Now he's just an idiot, so throw him to the wolves.
Yep, exactly.
And his wife will leave him and make a big statement. Wow.
Yeah, if they're even married anyway. They're still having to go at it.
Convenience.
Yeah, it's convenience. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, if you don't tell me what you're doing with those 4 male escorts, I'll just turn up. I'm gonna say grandstand. Is that?
She's probably his handler, Rich. She's probably his fucking handler.
I would say, yeah. Good point. President Trump, we're going to allow 600,000 of Chinese students to come in. Now, what people don't realize about that, everyone's like, why are you doing this, letting the Chinese in? One, they've let them in already because you've got 46,000 papers co-authored on AI between the two.
I thought you were going to name all of them then. Because went one, and I thought, fucking hell, he's not going to go through 600,000 names, is he?
Oh, yeah, no, most of them are called one anyway. So I'd have just doubled up. About 6 or 7 names there. Kwong was next. Wong Trick, yeah, Wong Tong Sui. So 600,000 is Cabalistic coding for the 600,000 divine sparks that will be lifted up. And then you had his, I think it was Mike Huckabee, talking about how they will be taken from the top and elevated. They're throwing all of this coding out there. They're not going to have 600,000 Chinese students to come in. They're already there. They're doing 46,000 co-authored AI papers together. This is all coding. And the fact that people just they're totally clueless about this. 600,000, 600,000 or 6,000 is usually that they use them, or 60,000. They do different versions of it. And I can't quite figure out why they use the different zeros at the end. But 600,000 is specific for the divine sparks that shattered and now going back to the Iron Soft. And Huckabee goes, yeah, they're all going to be taken from the top to allow space for other people to rise up. What do you think that means? Back to the Godhead.
It'll be numerology. There'll be a reason for those numbers. I'm not a numerologist. I bet someone would be able to work that out.
Yeah, but someone watching this knows that.
Huckabee's the one that sat there. He's the I was going to say American ambassador to Israel, but he's not. He's the Israeli ambassador to America. Let's have it right. Who sat there with the two rabbis the other day, didn't he? Saying that you're God's chosen people and that anyone that's angry basically at Israel is just angry at God. You're fucking mental, mate. How's that not supremacist, by the way? How's that not supremacy?
That's exactly what it is.
I was thinking, and I said it in Trinidad, I was thinking, imagine if Huckabee is sat with two Muslim clerics going, you guys are do you know what I mean? You are the fucking Don, son. And anyone that calls out you fuckers is angry at God. Charlie Kirk's head would explode.
Yeah, well, his teeth would pop out, wouldn't they? It's like he would be gnashing on the desk. It is ridiculous for him, who's there with Trump, to be speaking like that. Like, it's just, and the other thing is just to be openly speaking like that now. They've always thought that. We know that because we've been covering it for 15, 20 years. But they're openly doing it now, dropping Kabbalah codes, talking about all this stuff. They're right. They are sprinting for the finish line, as I said, I think last week, with their pants around their ankles. They don't care anymore that you know, because most people haven't got a fucking clue.
No, most people have got their fucking pants on inside out. I was going to move on to another sort of couple of UK stories, but now we're talking about that sort of messaging and the bold as brass messianic fucking nutcases. Do you see Israel Katz? He's not a pet. Israel Katz is his name. Imagine living in Israel and calling your kid Israel. It's like the laziest child naming in the fucking world.
Yeah, I'd be feathered.
His name's probably John anyway. But yeah, Israel Katz, he's the defense secretary, right? So obviously they've had a bit of beef with the Houthis in Yemen. So he put a tweet out, like it's a fucking public forum, where he's basically saying, we're going to destroy the Houthis and blah, blah, blah. And then he throws away like a little way. Oh, and by the way, at the end, and in the future, there will be we will unleash a plague on their firstborn.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
He's a fucking psychopath.
They're all psychopaths.
Like he's like mental. He's sectionable. Get a straitjacket.
This is what insane world. Netanyahu, Trump, Malay, because he cries a lot at the wall. Yeah. These guys, Huckabee, they would all be sectioned as terrorists because that's what they are. And they're openly telling you that's exactly what they are for a Zionist state. They're telling you, we're going to commit terror, plague on your firstborn, to these people in the name of Zionism. Which is really,
they believe that shit. They believe that because I read that and I was like, mate, that's fucking Herod vibes. And it's like, but that's what they believe in. That's the shit they believe in. In 2025, the Old Testament. Fuck me.
That's what people can't get across the line. That these people genuinely believe this crap, and it is crap. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have any, spiritual lessons in there. There's things in there that I think are very relevant to today's life, and you can learn many things. But the narrative story as a realistic happened here on Earth is horseshit, and it's provably horseshit. These people are mental. They're a cult. That's exactly what they are. If it wasn't the biblical text and you give them a book with a red cover on it and a swastika, you go, that's a cult. It's the same shit. This is a cult.
Well, there's probably some nice sort of life lessons and, inspirational fables in some fucking Roald Dahl's work, but
yeah, there is.
No one's hanging on the word of James and the Giant Peach to go and bomb a load of fucking kids to death. It's insane, mate.
But that's exactly what it is. Yeah, like the Worst Witch, and going, it says in the Worst Witch, page 48, and then going, we've got to do that today. It says it's prophecy. It's just, and it is exactly. And I know we're hyperboling and taking the piss out of it, but that's exactly what it is.
It is bonkers. It's like, how can you justify saying that on a public forum that you will unleash a plague of the firstborn on another nation? Have you not seen Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Yeah, that's not an excuse. Cats.
Cats, Israel Cats, as if that's his cat's
Of
real
course,
name.
it's not fucking
So
John Smith or something.
we'll move on from bitter. John Trump was meant to be arresting Bill Gates, wasn't he? I know we'll
Oh
move on
God.
from Trump in a little while, but Bill Gates meets with Trump to talk about importance of US global health programs and health research today. I thought he was arresting him.
Honestly, MAGA has been played to such a level. It's I almost feel bad.
Yeah. And there's nothing else really to say about that. As a, just stop it. That's the cult mentality again. Stop it. Put the book down. Walk away. Take off your MAGA hat, which is your cult uniform. Walk away. You've been done, son.
Well, we're seeing it here now, mate, with Mega. Like I
Oh yeah.
spoke about it big time, like on trending this week, and it's funny because people don't want to hear it, so I've started getting big thumb downs on my commentary, which is fine, like whatever. But we've spoken for a while. The facts don't care about your feelings. That's what
No.
Ben Shapiro used to say, wasn't it? We've felt for a while, haven't we? And we vocalised it, obviously, about the fact that reform are clearly being groomed here. That Labour I think Labour are running for the finish line in terms of how much fucking destruction they can cause on this country because they ain't bothered about getting re-elected. Like, they're not meant to get re-elected because the big piece de la resistance, the digital ID stuff, I think they know that Labour can't get that through. People won't accept it from Labour, but they'll accept it from Reform. If Reform come in as this big alternative, they're not like the globalists, just like fucking Trump did. And you come in and you go, oh no, yeah, we're going to have to introduce something because there's migrants all over the place. We don't know where they are. There could be sleeper cells. They could be buying fertilizer for bombs to put in your school. Fuck. Okay, digital ID. And they'll go, oh, yeah, they didn't really want to do it. Remember, Farage used to speak out against it for about 30 seconds. Like, that's obviously what's happening. And I'm looking at this mega movement. I'm like, oh, it's the same thing all over again.
Of course it is. It's a Fisher Price MAGA, and it is like we've said. And yesterday was that Ryan. What's his name? The one that looks like he's had a lot of surgery done. Seems like a
Well,
nice enough Ryan. Not Ryan Reynolds. He's quite handsome. Ryan from Good Morning Britain. I think his name's Ryan, isn't it?
oh, Raylan.
Is it
Rylan?
Raylan? That's it, or Rylan? Sorry, not Ryan. Rylan. He seems like a nice guy. And what he's saying in that clip that's gone a bit viral, like AIDS, around. He's telling the truth. Of course he is. But why has he been allowed to say it now on national TV? And what led to the context of that being true? Of course, it's true now to a certain degree. What he's saying about like the immigration and you coming over here and getting free things, totally agree with him. But missing out the context, you're not telling the whole truth. You're telling a bit of the truth. The whole truth is that was designed to happen so people like he can go on telly, talk about it, wind up the nation. Not that I'm saying he's doing it on purpose, because I doubt he is. He seems like a genuine guy. Thus, we're going to have the divide and conquer, divide and rule. So who's pulling the strings? Tommy Robinson is poking the bear like he's been doing for ages. Like, the whole point is you've got all of these lot that came along in the alternative media after COVID to set this up. Again, I doubt they even know. And when you tell them,
Some
they
will, some
totally,
won't.
some will, some won't. When you tell them, they totally ignore it. So they just basically take the context away from not knowing what is actually going on. Some will, some won't, as you say.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be
Well,
surprised at the ones that do. It's obvious. It's fucking obvious. So Mega is mini MAGA, as we said. Even Tommy Robinson picked up on that, and we said it first here on WTAF. It's the whole point. And so with something like Ryland saying that, they take a truth, but it's a truth that they've created. So why have they created it, and why are they using it, and now they're weaponizing it? He's allowed to say that on TV for a reason.
Well, there's a reason why Jeremy Corbyn, whether you love him or loathe him, has been an MP for as long as he's been an MP, was leader of the Labour Party during a general election, and I think he's had, 3 appearances on Question Time. Nigel Farage, who's only just become an elected MP, has been on like 38 times. Like, there's a reason for that shit, for sure. If they genuinely saw Farage as a threat, he'd be ignored because that's what they do.
It's not a threat.
They don't. They promote and promote and promote and promote. And when it comes down to it, he's not alternative in the slightest. He was pots and pans banger, pushing Trump, pushing Blair, sorry, as vaccines are. And just this week, I spoke to to someone that used to work in and around the party, was saying that he's friends with Peter Thiel.
Oh,
And that they go way back. And you can just see, you just go, okay, well, they're going to move Trump aside. They're going to bring in JD Vance, who's Peter Thiel's man. And then we're going to be mega. We're going to be the Technocracy Inc. in the UK. It's so frustrating. And people don't want to hear it because they want reform to be the answer. They want Tommy Robinson to be the answer because it means they don't have to do anything themselves. It's really frustrating because it's America all over again. Like they don't want AI, they don't want digital ID. Well, we'll do it to fix the southern border crisis. I'll allow it, and you can just see they're going to do it here.
It's called Little Britain for a fucking reason, and that's what it is. So just go along with it. They modelled it over there in the US. You're right, and again we have this Minneapolis shooter today. So this is the next one, or a couple of days ago.
No, it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? As if he wrote on his gun, "Burn Israel and Israel must fall." He shot up a Christian school, I believe. It was a Catholic school.
Yeah.
Catholic school. So that kind of got moved to the side. But as if, like, this has got all the hallmarks of a false flag. All of them. If you're going to do a false flag, you do this one. Which doesn't mean it didn't happen, by the way. It means that it didn't happen for the reason that you think it's happened. And it is to gaslight the people watching it into that. And of course, you're going to get all this Israel hate. Apparently, he hated Trump. Well, he's wise. Hated Trump. Hated Israel. Even enough to write it on his gun. And
well, he's trans as well. That's the other thing.
And he's trans. Yes, that's the other one. And he's trans, or she's trans. But this one was at a twist. He didn't like Muslims and Israelis, but Israelis aren't necessarily Jewish because that's a faith, not a place in the world that you come from. But they tried to mix them two together. So as if he's going to write it on his fucking gun. I mean, this just gets absolutely.
I looked at it and I thought to myself, it's funny because in the old days, not funny, ha because it's fucking horrendous, but funny as in weird, that you look back and you see how American, particularly alternative media, reacted to mass shootings before. Bear in mind, this is like the 50th one of the school year or something mad. Like, it's so common. It used to all be like, it's a false flag to be able to take guns off the population, to be able to take guns off of people that are on the of conservatives, so they can't defend themselves against the government and all that stuff. That's now suddenly gone. It's not that anymore. It's trans people. And you're like, well, that's such an easy way, because suddenly the people on the right, the alternative bunch, they've got an issue with trans ideology and the sterilization of kids and gender, basically this gender, like radical gender ideology explosion, which I agree with them on. I don't agree with that shit. And so suddenly it's like, oh, one of my enemies is guilty. Yeah, it was definitely them. It's definitely them. It's definitely the trans community and all this sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, well, no, because they still want to take the guns off you. They just need you to accept it. And I was thinking about this today, and I was like, maybe this is the fucking play, Rich. Maybe now the Trump administration or the Vance administration, whatever in the future, comes out and says, right, we're going to ban trans-identifying people, like trans people, from having firearms. And the right will go, yes. You're like, then who do they ban? Well, Muslims can't have them. Okay, bang. And then suddenly someone who's a conspiracy theorist shoots up a fucking shopping center and they go, oh yeah, we went trawl through his social media. Turns out he watches InfoWars, he watches Classified with Richard Willett. He's a fucking conspiracy theorist bastard. We're going to, okay, so in which case, from now on, for you to own a firearm, we're going to need to look at your social media. We're going to have to trawl through all your fucking personal data, your bank account, whatever. And then that becomes a thing, which suddenly is, well, yeah, they've banned guns then.
I think you nail on the head. What are they taking away from you? Because every time they do this, they take something away. So every time they do something big like this, just ask yourself, what are they taking away from me here? Because they're not giving you anything. You might feel like you've won, but you've won because someone's come at the front door, knocked on the front door and said, you've won the lottery. By the time you open the door and realize you didn't even do the lottery, someone's nicked all the cutlery out of your kitchen, out the back. There's something happening. There is
That
something
makes me
happening.
think of Only Fools and Horses.
It's a
With
great
Uncle Albert.
analogy.
No,
Yeah.
Grandad. Yeah. He said when they told him he'd won the pools, and he said he got all his pension out of the bank, and he went down and he was in the West End. He had these two women on his lap, and he realised he doesn't even play the bloody pools because Del Boy's had him on.
Yeah.
Talking of Avignon, this is trolling. We've spoke about it a fair bit, and this is part of like Labour just winding people up because they don't care about getting re-elected. Obviously, there was a story last week that 50,000 people, that we know of, have crossed in small boats since Labour came into power and said they'd smash the gangs, right? So it's another 50,000 on top of all the tens of thousands that are already here. Well, Labour could deport 100 within weeks.
Yeah, I saw this. I thought you covered this on Monday. It's literally like scratching your head, isn't it? It's what does that
If
mean?
that's not trolling, I'm sorry. Just don't. In fact, it would be less annoying if you didn't deport any. But by deporting 100 within weeks, maybe, perhaps, see how I feel, when you've let in 50,000, I mean, that I think is about poking people, isn't it? It's about winding people up. People going, this is bullshit.
Like, they are pushing the buttons. They are stoving this for an East versus West clash. They really are. Like,
Yeah.
it's coming, and it's kicked off in little pockets before, but this is, as you say, it's there's things in place now. People in different parts of like you said before, it was in cities mainly, but now it's in villages. Like we got,
Yeah, they want civil unrest everywhere.
yeah,
They want I think in terms of the digital ID stuff, which I think is massively important to this because it's a huge cog in the machine for them, is that, if you've got, because they're moving them out of hotels now and everyone's going, oh, this is great, we've got them out of hotels. Well, yeah, but that was their plan anyway. Labour made no bones about it. They wanted to shut down the hotels and get them into temporary accommodation. Yeah, well, they want to house them because they're not going anywhere. And they want that all over the country. Because if you concentrate it within a city or within a hotel chain, like the Britannia hotel chain, then you can turn up, round them all up, stick them on a boat, fuck them all off. Well, you
yeah.
can't do that if they're everywhere.
No, you're completely right, and that's the kind of, and they call it sleeper cells. I mean, I do think there's sleeper cells within them, but basically what they've done, and that's what that Ryland wouldn't have a clue about, is when he's talking like that on telly without the context of adding. But I think this is done on purpose. This is done to clash the Muslims against the British. This is done
Yeah.
to get us all fight again amongst each other. If he would have added that bit at the end, I'd have been cheering him all the way, because that is the bit they don't want you to talk about. That's been weaponized. That's been constructed and controlled and contrived. That's the point. Yes, you're telling the truth, but why and who by? That's where they'll never go. So you've got all these other alternative media people that come along in the last 3 years, think they know it all, are going on about that, crowing about that sort of thing, and I'm saying you don't.
Well, I think
You are part of the problem. You are
ex-
part of the problem. You've become part of the issue, and you are a weapon for something you don't understand or refused to take on board, because it's not hard to understand. So you are refusing to do your job, because what you've become is a weapon in the hands of those that you claim to be against, which you're not.
Well, if you look at it in a football analogy, like say for instance, you say you've got Derby County fans and Norwich City. That's probably the closest city football club to you, in it, like big football
Yeah.
club. Yeah. So you've got Norwich City fans, Derby County fans. Historically, there ain't much beef between those two clubs. Not really. If they were in, a pub together, two or three of them, they'd probably have a bit of banter. There's not a rivalry, not necessarily. And then suddenly, I don't know, 1,000 Norwich City fans are allowed into the home end at a Derby game. So Derby are playing Norwich and 1,000 Norwich fans come into the home end. Shit will kick off,
Of course it will.
right? Of course it will, because it's changed. Oh no, what the fuck are these doing? Infiltrating our end of the ground. Start fighting. And
But
it's
not
like,
only that, Gaz, is that you give all those Norwich City fans a free beer, but not the
yeah,
Derby
and
fans.
you give them the best seats.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the Derby fans are going, fucking hell is going on here? What do you mean? You were allowed in free? I had to spend 50 quid on my fucking ticket. They start fighting and scrapping, and no one's asking the question, sorry, sir, who let the fucking Norwich fans in?
Yep.
Who fucking pushed them towards the turnstiles and let them in that end?
And why?
And why? Because that's who's behind this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yes, I've got a football analogy in.
it was a brilliant one. It was one of the best we've had, and we love
Woohoo!
analogies. Because yeah, I do love an analogy. There's no better way to explain it. Exactly like that. That's exactly what's happened, and
That's
you know,
it. Thanks for
these
watching. Head over to Supreme TV. Done. On
and
topic.
then the commentator's meant to be commentating on that football game, going, "Hang on a minute, they've just let all the Norwich fans in to the Derby end, and they're giving them all a free beer and the best seats. Cool, that's going to annoy the Derby fans, but the commentators aren't. They're going, bloody Norwich fans."
Look at them. They've all got in. They've all got in and helped himself to a free beer. They've all got in and nicked a beer. Ed Miliband, this is funny, Rich, right? And I've spoken about it before. I do like community notes. Like, credit where it's due. I don't like Musk. I don't trust him. But since he's come into X, well, bought Twitter, changed it to X, and you've got this community note thing, it does make me laugh. Because Ed Miliband puts, obviously, because our energy bills, highest in the world, go up again in October. And he starts off this Twitter thread with, I know, people are worried about it. You're not, though, you multimillionaire bastard.
No.
And he obviously blames the Russians. He says that energy prices are the cost of gas, wholesale cost of gas is 75% higher since the invasion of Ukraine. And so basically our reliance on fossil fuels is what's fucking everyone up. So obviously loads of people have gone below it going, well, that's not really true though, is it? Because these are the bills in France, these are the bills in Finland, these are the bills all these different places. Why are we the only ones getting fucked? And then the community notes, obviously someone's gone into Ofgem, into the government data, their own fucking data, that says that since Putin invaded Ukraine, the wholesale price of gas has come down 46%.
So where's that gap going? That's the black hole.
Well, that's the thing. So it's 46% cheaper. So well done, Putin. Thanks for invading. You've made our gas cheaper. And yet Miliband can come there and go, it's 70%, 75% higher, which is just such an absurd lie.
Yeah.
And
So
I look at it and I think it's almost like you're doing that on purpose, though, Ed.
I don't think he thinks people would look. They wouldn't.
But I don't think he's posting either, Rich. I doubt he can unlock his fucking screensaver. I don't. He's such a fucking idiot.
He is. Yeah.
It's like, you must know if you're going to post that you're going to get taken to the cleaners, which is why I'm just thinking they're doing it on purpose now. Like they're purposely destroying themselves.
Oh, but that was the whole point, to destroy everything. That's how it is. It's creative destruction, they call it. They just bring everything down and then they build it back up again. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of all of this coming down. And it isn't the British Empire that's coming down. It's the British people that are coming down. Exactly. But have you got 4 nights free?
In my life, never.
No, neither have I. But if I did, this is where I would be. The Antichrist, a 4-part lecture series by
Jordan Peterson.
A little bit worse. Peter Thiel.
The Antichrist. Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel is doing an important. This ticket includes all 4 events. You are warmly invited to a series of 4 lectures by Peter Thiel addressing the topic of the biblical Antichrist and how to stick it in a machine. Peter is a technology.
Peter Thiel.
Yeah, he plays all the roles. He wrote the theme tune. Peter Thiel is a technology entrepreneur and mass murderer. And he didn't say that. I added that bit. An investor who has spent much of his career writing and speaking about his Christian faith. He's not Christian. He's a Zionist. Lunatic. Anyway, he's going to go on about Francis Bacon and a few other people and Harry Newman and talk about technology and transhumanism and the Antichrist, because he's trying to get the Antichrist in a little bottle like a genie so it controls you all, and then you've all got to live by the 7 Noahide laws, and if you don't, then you won't be allowed any food and you get locked out into what they call the corridors of society, which is basically the wilderness. Cue the Hunger Games, shoot each other in the arse. Done. Let's go home.
I'd love it if he hadn't rehearsed it, but he'd written it, he'd scripted it, so he had to read it. So he's got Harry Newman, and who was the other one? Francis Bacon.
Francis Bacon, dead. Harry Newman's not the one from that band, Human League.
See, I'd love to go in backdoor access through Palantir. Will be able to sort me out with that. Get a bit of backdoor access and change the script so it's written about Kevin Bacon and Harry Enfield. right? And just see how long he keeps talking before he realizes that he's not talking about Francis Bacon. And it's all got a bit, he starts talking about tremors. And it's like, and then he got his EE contract. What the fuck? Like, what am I?
Yeah.
I'd
Or
love, that's what
actual
backdoor access is about. Well,
I
that
would
and
actually
Ukrainians,
yeah,
rebels.
exactly. Well, that's what was that called? That one that Mossad had. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was messing around with it, selling it everywhere. What was that one called?
I can't
Uh,
remember, but their
can't
shit's
remember it.
everywhere. The fact that they called it Intel Inside, so that chip was in basically every computer, it literally says intelligence is inside.
Exactly. Yeah,
It would
he'd
tell you.
be. I'd change it to he's talking about France's bacon. So he would literally just the quality of bacon in France. That's what I would change it to.
Or the
I'd,
whole country of France is bacon. France is bacon. Like it's not soil and grass and bricks and mortar. It's bacon. France
it's
is
founded
bacon.
on bacon. Even the Freemasons know that.
Yeah. And that's why they burnt the Cathars, because they were trying to cook the bacon.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why they
Yeah.
call police bacon. And there's all sorts going kicking off here. There you go.
Every
So
bacon. It's like
everything's
Cambridge Analytica.
yep, it is. It's hive
And that's,
mind, and
that's
that's
just another form of bacon.
yeah. So that's available for you guys. Go check that out. 4 nights with Peter Thiel talking about the Antichrist. Like
Jesus wept.
he does this anyway, and like with his mates behind closed doors. But this, yeah, it's available to you. Imagine.
It's weird. Do you know who's got lots of closed doors? Angela Rayner. So Angela Rayner is the deputy leader of the country. So I think she's supposedly on about 150 grand a year or something. She just bought a third house. Proper woman of the people. She speaks with a northern accent, and therefore she's one of us. 800k. So you're in a position, right, where you're an elected official. You're supposed to be representing the country. You're not. Obviously, you're destroying it intentionally. And everyone's fucked. Everyone's struggling. Cost of living, everything, energy crisis. The bills are going up again. And you go, I know. I'm going to buy my third £800,000 house. How that will look good. The people will look at me and go, wow, she's a self-made woman. She's done so well. I wish I could do that. No, they're not. They're just going to look at you and go, what a fucking parasitical fuck.
That's my house.
Yeah, well, you are literally paying the mortgage on it, mate.
Yeah, good sure. Yeah.
In fact, there's probably not a mortgage on it, is it? She probably bought it outright.
Oh, well, I don't think it's probably not even gone through legal means. She's probably just got some Aborigine children to knock it up over 48 hours.
I think that's who's been knocking up her dresses. I mean, I ain't going to judge. I think, I ain't got the greatest dress sense. I wear shorts in January these days. I've reached that age.
Yeah.
But some of those dresses are a bit bloody hell, mate.
Well, she wants to be stand out, wouldn't she? It's just a little bit like when you've got a personality disorder, you wear the weirdest shit. I had a girlfriend who had personality disorder. Still does, by accounts. And she came out once and she was wearing the biggest hat I've ever seen in my life.
How big?
And honestly, what's on my head? The roundness of it was out here. And the top bit was like, it was like a flowery bonnet, but for someone who was 6 times her height. It was
Was
the
it a
weirdest thing.
guacamole hat?
It
Like
looked
one
like that.
and you just dip in the guac.
That's what it felt like, yeah. But you see, it was
Guac.
weird. And it's like they hide under being seen. They like to be seen, but they also hide behind it, which is really weird. They blind
Yeah.
you by their hats.
Well, you have that, don't you? People are famous. Why are they famous? Where's a big hat? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've
I
got no
remember, I
talent.
remember, I
Talent's
remember
there.
watching a documentary years ago that was made by the North Korean government. I've watched some weird shit.
I was going to
And
say, where the fuck do you find that?
wow, YouTube, when you used to be able to go down rabbit holes before they closed them all off and fucking shepherded you into another one of their creation. And it was basically destroying the West in terms of like how fucked and like how much debauchery and shit is going on and how much everyone's just fat and eating crap and unhealthy and on antidepressants and stuff. It was uplifting. And I remember then it came to Jordan, right, as in Katie Price, right, and it really made me laugh.
Literally Jordan, like not the
Yeah,
country.
as in as in shit on your belly, Jordan. And it was like, what the fuck is Kim Jong Un like focusing on Jordan, like Katie Price for? And it was so fucking. It was basically like, this is Katie Price. She's famous. She's blah blah blah. She's like, why is she famous? I don't know why she's famous. And that's literally this North Korean documentary was just going, I don't understand why she's famous. She's famous for being famous. What the fuck is the point? And then it moved on to the next person and the next bit of society. And I remember it really making me laugh because it's like, mate, if the North Korean government have spotted you,
Yeah. She's
you wait.
intelligence.
And this was before people were shitting on her belly and she was putting it on her social media.
What? I've not seen that, and I don't want to see that. But
Charlotte
like,
spoke about it in the office. She said, "Have you seen that thing where Jordan's got a shit on her belly?" And I obviously was just sat there working. I went, "What?" And I sort of glanced at Gina, who sits opposite me. I
yeah,
went, "The fuck are you
Gina's
talking?"
seen it.
And
Gina
then
knows
so
all
she just got
about
a
it.
phone. She goes, "No, have you not seen it?" And it is literally a photo of her just lying on a bed, trying to look sexy with a big shit on her belly. I
And
don't
and
understand.
we don't know who's done it. Isn't
We
she
don't know who's
selling
done it.
selling a certain product at the moment?
Head over to Supreme CBD / shit on the belly. Get 100% off. I don't understand what that was about. I was just like, why has that happened? Is that a humiliation ritual? Probably. I don't understand, but
Weird
yeah,
thought so. Yeah.
it's weird, isn't it? But I do remember watching that documentary, just really laughing at the fact that Jordan got a fucking section in it.
Well, she's probably well happy about that. I mean, North Korea know her about her. Maybe she's an intelligent asset and she's pulled the wool over all of our eyes. She's
Sold a few autobiographies.
yep, yep.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, what's Jordan ever done? She just gets her tits out for a living and gets plastic surgery and
They're
gets
not
shit
even her
on her belly.
tits. They're not even
No, they're
hers.
not. Found them in a pub car park.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, and she lets people shit on her belly and puts photos, and you're like, yeah, it's pretty weird, but I guess she's probably not worrying about paying the bills. She's probably worth a few million.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
If
you
that's
got no
what you care
self
about.
sense of self worth left. But
Nah,
you
she's
got.
not bothered about the energy bills going up in October. She's going, it's fine. Another shit will cover it.
I'm going to sell it on eBay. Guinness World Records. I know you love a Guinness World Record,
I
guys.
do. I've
Do you
equaled
know
them.
there's still some to be achieved? And I reckon we should try some of these because I think you'd
Go
be
on.
great. You'd love a bit of this. Guinness World Records is celebrating its 70th anniversary by highlighting unclaimed titles you might fancy going for. So first things first, the Guinness World Records only go back 70 years. So if any of these happened before then, we don't know about it. It's a little bit like it's rewritten history, basically. The Bookkeeper of Weird and Wacky Achievements, the first volume of which was published in 27th of August 1955, is inviting people to try their hand at such extraordinary feats as, so these are ones that are still available, no one's even attempted these yet. The
Most
most,
consecutive nights performing an Antichrist conference.
that's
Was it?
it. Yep, that's it. Yep, definitely in there. That's been, someone's up for that at the moment. The most whoopee cushions sat on in 1 minute.
I'm happy to have a go.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. The fastest time to blow a stamp 10 meters.
Wonder where that was going.
Yeah.
Um, okay, again, I could go for that. I thought I could do that in. Well, that depends. Where is
Yeah.
it being done? If it's outdoors, is it indoors? What kind of is it a controlled
It
environment?
would have to be in a controlled environment, guys. It would be. This is
Is
serious
the
stuff.
stamp, has it been licked? Because if it has, that changes the game completely.
If it's in Derby, it's definitely been licked. And if it's in Norfolk, it's definitely been licked.
If it's in Derby, it's
Anything.
been nicked.
The fastest time to blow a stamp 10 meters. I'm not very good with distances, so I don't really know how far 10 meters is. But how do you explain that in feet?
Yeah, I'm not very good with. I'm old money, actually, with that kind of thing.
10 meters is 4 shillings in feet. The furthest distance bottle flip.
4 shillings is about 20p.
Is it?
Yeah, 10 shillings is about 50p, I think.
So what about Alex Jones shilling?
Ooh, ooh, okay, that's good. I like that. It's worth about $1 billion. I think it was at $900 million, whatever it was. Go on, what was the next one? Sorry, I interrupted.
The most high fives in 30 seconds. That one's brilliant.
Mate,
Do that.
in 30 seconds, most high fives. I reckon I could do 60.
Do you reckon? So 2 per second.
2 hands.
Is that right? Yeah.
Like that. Just down a line. Yeah, I could. Even more than that, actually.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well,
If
you might hit
everyone
a few
stood there
heads.
with their hands up like that,
Yeah.
I reckon I could. Yeah,
Just try it. Why don't
I'm
you
gonna go
try it
for
and
100.
test it?
100.
I see. You need to get 100 people together, though, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know 100 people.
Well, no, you could go straight up and down the same 8, I suppose. The fastest 400-meter sack race. I'm assuming they stand in a sack, not your ball sack. So
Yeah, or you
400
just
meters.
run 400 meters with someone saying you're fired.
Or you got no trousers on. It's basically just running around without your trousers on. A sack race. And the fastest time to ascend the height of Everest by cycle.
Well, you
Fuck
die.
that.
You die. That would never happen.
Well, it hasn't yet, so you may be right.
Yeah, you'd be dead. Because I
Yeah.
remember I just swam the Solent, right, for charity, and I was like, right, I need something fucking bigger now. That's fine. Done that one. And I remember I said to Gemma, I was like, I can climb Everest. Fuck it. Like, I can't do it next week, but if I train and she's just like literally just scrolled on her phone and just showed me pictures of dead bodies that are still up there. I think there's about 200 of them. It's like, should we start with Snowdon?
Who's taking the pictures of the dead bodies?
I know, but they're still up there, mate. It's grim. If you Google it, there's a bunch of bodies still up there because they can't bring them down.
Well, you can
But they've
roll
been
them.
frozen to death. Well, I guess you could chuck them off the edge, but yeah. No one's doing that on a bike, mate.
What's the one we went up with? Well, you
Snowdon.
went. You went up.
I went up. People still die on Snowdon though.
I went
Like
halfway up.
storm
It was
and fog
horrible.
and shit.
That was
Yeah.
horrible. We filmed it all for your enjoyment, but it was horrible.
Well, I think getting up to the top of Snowdon is probably the equivalent of getting a tenth of the way to base camp on Everest or something ridiculous. It's just mad.
No,
Mad.
thank you. I don't see the point. Stay where you are. You take the weather with you. If you're a grumpy sod down the bottom of Snowdon, you're going to be a grumpy sod up the top.
Oh, everywhere you go, you always take weather with you.
Took weather.
Was
What's
that
the next
crowded?
one?
That was Crowded House, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, which is basically immigration.
I remember being in a bus and we broke down in a tour bus and we broke down right outside Parliament and the police came along and they were kicking off and there were snipers and we were told we needed to move. Anyway, it's a long story. It's in my book. And these two ladies spotted the bus because it had our band name down the side of it and they were from the Isle of Wight, so they recognised the name and they we were going on the bus. And so they came and sat on the bus and we offered them a beer and they took one. And I remember it just being really cool because they were like ladies in their probably 70s.
Right.
And one of them was like chugging on the beer and they were there to see Crowded House or the singer of Crowded House solo. What was his name? Something Finn or something in it. Anyway, she went, so which one of you is Keith Chegwin's son then? And I remember finding it really funny. I went, it's me. I mean, it's not Keith Chegwin, but it's me that you're thinking of.
So you got your dad mixed up with Keith Chegwin.
Keith Chegwin, yeah.
Well, I can see the how because on the front cover of one of his books, he's got his iCal, and then Keith Chegwin did a whole series on Channel 4, I think it was, with him with his Chegwin out. His whole.
I like Keith Chegwin.
Oh,
I found he's dead now, unfortunately.
I
but
never met him,
I
but
found him funny. When I met
sounds-
him, he was really nice.
Yeah, I can see that. He's in a lot of Ricky Gervais stuff, and he did seem like he's a very good actor as well.
Pop knob in funny.
Pop knob. I'd like to have met him. He seemed really nice.
It's when he does that scene in there in Extras where he's like, the BBC, is it still run by those Jews and queers? And you're like, mate, you wouldn't get away with that now. I'll tell you what.
No, you wouldn't unless you're Ireland and it's to upset people.
But yeah, Keith, well, they were on Saturday Superstore together, weren't they? So I guess that's where
she's got mixed up. So she's going around looking for The Biggest Secret by Keith Chegwin.
I'd fucking read it all day long, mate. I've got one more. How many have you got?
One more.
Whose turn is it?
It's yours, I think.
The COVID vaccine might get pulled off the market within months, according to Asim Malhotra having met up with RFK Jr., which makes me laugh. And my first thought was, it's literally like closing the gate after the horse has already massacred the village with its big fucking hooves.
Out you come.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's so stupid. And also, what I'm interested in is like, how quietly are they going to take that off the market? And for what reason are you going to take it off the market? Because obviously Malhotra's pushing the idea that it's caused lots of damage to people and killed people. He claims it killed his father because obviously he was pushing the jab way before his dad died, then suddenly changed tact. Well, how does that fit in with Donald Trump's father of the vaccine? My greatest achievement is warp speed. I'd like to see how they're going to do that. How they're going to do that one.
Yeah, which he repeated like yesterday, the day before, like how brilliant it was.
Yeah. So how do you kind of quietly take something off because it's dangerous whilst not admitting you were wrong? Because he won't
I
admit
think
he
you
was wrong.
don't. You just don't, do you? That's the frustration of it all. They never admit that they lied, that they were wrong, never admit to it. What was the Nazis say? Never admit to, was it they had something like that? Just never admit to it. Just consistently double down on the lie. Never admit to lying. Never admit to anything. That's what they do. They'll frustrate you because they think that you can't do anything about it. They know you know they're liars, and you know that they know you know they're liars. And that's the deal.
Easy for you to say.
If I can manage to say that, but I can't say philanthropist most times. I just did it. Fuck.
Do you know when you started saying what was the Nazi slogan, and you started sort of trying to work it out? Do you know what, this is God's honest truth. What popped into my head, because I thought, oh yeah, slogan. What's he thinking of? And I suddenly thought of kids and grown-ups love it so, the happy world of Haribo, which is fucking weird, isn't it? But that's what popped into my head, and I was
You've
thinking, Rich isn't going to
associated
say
that.
that. Rich isn't going to quote that, is he?
I
Fucking
know.
hell.
Well, maybe they're associated. Maybe you've got some sort of influx, download of information into your mind there, where you've figured something out, and then in 1,000 years' time, they're going to watch this podcast back, and then there'll be 2001 views on it, and
Even back
then
then, he knew about the Tang Fastics and how that tied into the Waffen SS. Even then, he knew.
last one for me. I mean, this isn't funny.
Right. I want to laugh.
Yeah. President Javier Milei attacked and barely escapes. What from? Not a bear.
Because that would be better.
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
He was attacked but barely escaped. Was his kapur too big? And he put it on and it came down over his face and started to suffocate him.
Oh, like a burqa.
Yeah, like a little bit like that. He was a bit lost and confused.
When your kapur becomes a burqa, you know that they're all in on it together. There's a t-shirt.
There you go. Put that on the side of Haribo.
He was forced to flee a campaign stop after being attacked. A crowd held rocks and yelled anti-government chants. How dare they? They actually threw rocks at him. It's actually quite horrific. I mean, I don't like the guy. The guy was licking the Wailing Wall and he's crying out the Messiah stuff. But yeah,
he was licking the wall.
He licked the wall.
Did he lick the wall? They all lick the wall, don't they?
They all lick the wall eventually. So yeah, he's a Zionist and people know it. Which yeah, of course he is. I know he is.
But how does that tie in then with what we're being told, which is that fucking Argentina's flying since he's in charge? Why are they chucking rocks at him?
Exactly. And how does that tie in with all Israelis are bad when you go over there and you didn't go over there, but you see thousands on the street protesting against Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Oh, the truth.
Yeah, big protests in Israel against Netanyahu and against the genocide in Gaza. Yeah, massive.
That's the point. None of them are liked, and you can't blame the people for what their supposed leaders are doing, especially when they've just been given a choice between a kick in the balls and a what's that one? Slap in the ass.
Well, I must admit, even as an Englishman, like going away on holiday as as an adult, I guess, because you probably don't notice stuff when you're a kid. But like, I've been all over the shop. But I remember when me and Gemma went to Malta and we were on this bus and someone heard like us speaking in an English accent, because English is essentially their first language there. They speak English, Italian and Maltese, but they all speak English basically, but not with an English accent. So we were chatting and people were turning around and they were chatty and they loved us because we were English. And I remember saying to Gemma afterwards, like, that never happens. We're so fucking hated all over the world. Not because we've done anything, but because our governments, obviously, historically and currently, have done horrendous things. And I remember being like, wow, we should come back to Malta.
Well, that's the same thing with what Ryland was doing. Like, as much as I do think he's a nice guy and he was pointing out some truths about it, obviously, he doesn't realise he's being weaponised in that way of divide and rule. Absolutely no idea. No idea.
And this is the thing: the divide and rule. Like, I've got a speech. I've got a speak in Serbia, and I was thinking of
how's that going?
Whatever. And and I was thinking, do you know what? Like this divide and rule thing. I was like, I'm quite excited by it, and I'm quite encouraged by divide and rule, which sounds really weird. But the reason I am is because if they could rule us without dividing us, they fucking would. Like they would. They would just steamroller over us and go, fucking deal with it. The fact that they can't is encouraging to me, because it's like, actually, if we could all just stop being knobheads and actually get our shit together, we'll be fine. And that's a positive thing, actually.
Agree.
Yeah. I'm encouraged by the fact that they have to do it. I don't like seeing it because it's bloody heartbreaking half the time. But the fact they have to do it is an encouraging thing to me.
That's the biggest thing, is that when you take away from it, is that they need to use us to create this technology. They need us to imprison ourselves, to fight against each other. They can't destroy us without us destroying ourselves. And that's the biggest thing. They can't do it. And that's the powerful thing. That's why the Wizard of Oz thing, we open the curtain and see the guy scrapping around in the background. That's all they are. They're a bunch of fucking cowards. And
Noblets.
yeah, noblets. But if they are noblets, where can they get their CBD from?
They can head over to supremecbd.uk. Use the code WTAF. You get 40% off everything. Trying to think of something I could say about Jordan, but no, I can't think of anything right now. What about wanting to watch more of me and you and other people that are probably slightly less annoying than me?
And me as well, yeah, and me as well. I'd add me in there. You can head over to iconic.com and watch 6 years worth of content on there. Thousands of hours of series and documentaries. These shows, I mean, how many shows we've done of this now? It must be about
Bloody hell,
170.
too many.
Yeah, years and years worth of work there. All the content you won't find anywhere else in terms of telling you about the world in the way which no one else will. Head over to iconic.com and get your first month for $1.99. You can't even buy a bag of chips for that these days. And we will see you in a week's time.
Yes, see you then. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely week, lovely weekend, and